Hey everybody, welcome back to the R Show. Yes, it's been a month, literally, since we had our last show on a Sunday night. And yes, you're seeing the same face on the screen with me. But his new name is Northeast Quicker instead of Chris Nice, aka Bosley Jones. And for everybody that's wondering, I wanted to say thank you that the wife is doing okay. I'm not gonna say she's doing great yet. As she likes to put it, every day is a 3 step forward, 2 step back type of day. So one day can be different than another. Tonight we are going to be talking about options and storage options, that is, and how they are different from years past and or from the last time we've had this discussion. Because Chris here has experience in the most recent months going to actual store who you are and things like that.
Hello, everyone. Like Chris said, Northeast Picker, also known as Chris Nice. I've been buying storage auctions for a few years now, and new to reselling online. Did a lot of reselling at yard sales and flea markets and stuff before I moved to online. So we'll talk about the. Do you just want to go into the topic then, Chris, or what do you want to do?
Well, first, before we do that, I want to give a little bit of the minor changes that I'm having to the show. The biggest one to this show, it is to the minor one to the Sunday night show, is that you are joining me permanently as a panel member. So when we have guests and everything else, you'll be coming up with some questions for them as well.
Yeah, like Chris said, I'm honored that I was asked to join both of your shows, and I really appreciate it. Thanks a lot, man.
Well, you've been a loyal watcher for almost a year now. It feels like so. And you're like you said, you're new to the online stuff, so my shows and stuff have been geared toward the newbies. So you'll be able to come up with questions that I may not be able to remember because of how many years I've had on the online selling stuff.
Yep. Alrighty, so we want to talk about storage auctions tonight, huh, Chris?
Yep.
All right.
I'll ask you one question, and then you can go in to however you want to go from there.
All right.
But for somebody that's starting out, what's the least amount of money you should bring with you to a storage auction without letting everybody know that you're new?
I started out just bringing $20 to my first storage auction, and it all depends on the person. I don't think that you should take a large amount of cash with you. For the simple fact, yeah, you may like a unit, but if you're flashing money, people are gonna know who you are then, and they're gonna run the prices up on you. The storage auctions ain't what they used to be. The shows came out, and it kind of drove people into the storage auctions. People started attending the storage auctions because after they're watching the shows, and they thought that they could end up with all kinds of treasure. Well, I'm not going to sit here and badmouth any shows, but I will tell you that you don't find that much treasure. The one unit that I did buy, I spent more money on trips to the dump than I made out of the unit. So it's not always good stuff. You have to take the good with the bad, and so be it. How we buy storage auctions around here, there's two different types nowadays. There's the on-site storage auctions. That's where you go and you bid. And there's also the online storage auctions. I have done both. And you still have as many people buying them. The crowds have died down a little bit because everybody's found out that it's not all about what the shows are. So, yep.
And what would you say was your biggest surprise from watching the shows? Because I'm sure you might have watched the shows before you started doing the looking into it yourself, like many people have. Besides the fact that you don't necessarily see all the glamorous items that they show on TV, what else would you say is the biggest either draw or negative side to the differences?
The biggest negative is sometimes you find stuff in storage units that is very immoral. And me, I don't sell things that are immoral or illegal. Yeah, and Dwayne, you're right. It is a heck of a lot of work. As you all know, the reason why I got into this business is because I broke my back as a volunteer firefighter. So when it comes to lifting stuff out of my storage units, I employ a couple of my friends, pay them cash, tell them, hey, come empty me this storage unit. And you're gonna find surprises. I've learned that anytime you find a Crown Royal bag and it doesn't jingle, you might not want to open it because it's some kind of adult toy. So, yeah. And I mean, you'll find anything in there. You got to remember that when people put stuff in their storage, okay, it's their life's belongings. Whether they be putting it in a storage, putting it in their storage because they don't have room at their house, or they're putting it in storage because they're moving and they will come back and get it another time. But you got to remember, anything that you find in a house, you're also going to find in a storage unit.
Okay, we have an early question before we even started the show from Steven Scroggins.
Yes.
He had two questions, but the first one was, do you do a lot of storage auctions? Once we have around here, they take all out and put them in lots. How does the ones that you can go to set up so you can fill us in on the show?
The laws around here, with the storage auctions, the manager of that storage auction isn't supposed to cut the lock until all the notifications have been made in the newspaper, and they're not supposed to actually cut it until the day of the auction. They don't set them up in lots or anything around here. They crack open the door, you get to look, and you get to start bidding. The ones online, though, they crack open the door and you bid online. Those are kind of iffy because I feel that the ones online, I'm afraid that, hey, the manager of the storage unit has gone through this stuff. Anything that's worth money, I'm not going to get it. So, and what was the second part of that question? I think that was...
Yep. Farm auctions also.
Oh, okay, about farm auctions. I don't go to farm auctions around here for the simple fact I don't have the space to store farm equipment or sell farm equipment, and I know diddly crap about farm equipment. Look at me. I don't think I would make a good farmer. So, yeah. I see another question in the room from Yard Sale Hunter. What's the coolest thing that I have found or gotten in a unit? The coolest thing that I've gotten in a unit, because I'm a NASCAR collector, was a fire suit that was autographed and worn by Bobby Labonte when he raced in NASCAR. So that was the coolest thing to me.
Did you keep that or did you sell it?
I kept it for a long time, and then it went to another collector, another NASCAR collector from they're friends of mine from down south. So yeah, but I kept it for a while, and then when I got tired of, when it wore on me, I said, okay, time to sell it.
Dwayne, Mothership Products wants to know who your favorite driver is.
Who's my favorite driver? And don't shoot me for this. My favorite driver is Dale Earnhardt Jr. Only because I've been an Earnhardt fan all my life. And when Earnhardt Sr. passed away, time to root for Dale Jr. I mean, I have a lot of drivers I like, but Jr. is my favorite driver. All right.
Now back to the subject of storage options. How far is the furthest you've gone, especially now that you're nicknamed the Northeast Picker? Have you ever gone to a different state to do a storage auction?
Yes. I live near Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but I have gone to West Virginia for storage auctions. So yeah, I've traveled.
Did you get anything worth the trip in West Virginia so you could write it off or make your money back?
From what I remember, the unit that I bought down there, it paid for my gas. It paid for the manpower that I had, and it made me a profit. So, yeah. I was pretty happy with it.
And with everything that's been going on with the show, especially we talked about this before the show, that Storage Wars has a new show called Storage Wars Miami. What are your thoughts? Since you're the one that told me you want to get down and dirty, let's get down and dirty. What are your thoughts on what the shows have done to the show, storage auction business per se?
My thoughts on the shows are this. It's reality TV. They've come up with something that sells for ratings. A lot of the units, and you can watch Dave Hester even had said out in the open that, yeah, a lot of the units are staged on that TV show, on those TV shows. But the thing is, the shows never claim to be the real life storage auctions. Okay. But, okay, everybody that watches the shows, mostly everybody that watches the shows says, okay, this is what I'm going to find. So, has the shows ruined the storage auction business? For a buyer, it's made it difficult. For an auctioneer, no, an auctioneer is making a ton of money now.
Where would you want to do storage auctions if you had a choice? Not up in the Northeast. Where else would you want to test your luck?
Test my luck. Probably Florida, Arizona, California. Y'all got to remember, I'm a deep freeze right now because I'm in Western Pennsylvania. We have wind chills right now over the last couple of days that have been minus. So I'd rather be in a place that's warm.
Oh, so you mean you want to be in Southern Colorado?
Oh, that's true. I mean, look at you. You're what, 60-something degrees today?
Today was actually 73 for a high. Tomorrow's supposed to be 78 for a high.
Jeez.
Then
yeah.
73, and then sometime next week we'll hit 59.
Yeah. Steven said, they need to shut down the shows. They've been overdone. Yes, they have. But they're going to keep them up. It's what sells. And Dwayne, if I could move, I would move. Believe me. But I just got married. My wife, the job she has, I don't think she's going to transfer.
Well, while we do a little bit of shout out, I realize we got very low viewers. And there are many reasons for it. One big one, but that's what it is. And since I haven't been having a show for a month, that kind of kills the momentum for the shows as well too. So But let's see, we got Dwayne. Yeah, we got Chris Piles. Albatross.
Yeah. We have
Steven
Dawn.
Goggins.
We have Dawn. We have let's see who else. We have, like I said, Steven. Oh man, I'm pumped. Hey Chris. What's up, Mr. Pals? I'm honored that you came to join us tonight. Thank you, sir. And thank you
Joe under his other user.
Yeah, sorry, Yard Sale Hunter. Good to see you too. Glad you're here. But I'm glad everyone's here. I'm glad that you all came out to support us, and I really appreciate it. And I'm sure Chris appreciates it too.
Well, I knew it. Like I told you before, when I asked you if you wanted to be on, you were kind of nervous. You're like, are you sure you want to be on here? I said, if things go into crap, we'll figure it out and fix it, like we always do. Probably like I always do, I should say.
Yeah. But to get back to the storage auctions, and get back to, as we say it, the down and dirty. Get back to people thinking that storage auctions are just like the show. I don't know how much more I can say this. It is not always like the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's it is Mr. Sadie. We're not mad at you. We must have not forgot. We forgot to give him shout out. Hope everything's going well for you, Mr. Sadie. Now you had a little bit of a issue there with those floods. It's good to see you here. But to get back to the storage auction business, am I doing it strictly now? No, I have found other ways to source too, because the storage auctions aren't gonna get you to source everything. So, I've started, going to estate sales and the Goodwills and stuff like that. But, storage auctions, I did want to bring up one thing. You got to remember that in storage units, there may be some illegal stuff. And I'm not sure what everybody's state's laws are on guns and stuff like that. If it's a handgun, yeah, I take it to the police and get them to run a serial number for me, because if it's stolen, I don't want no parts of it. Because I did read an article before where somebody actually got arrested. They had the charges dropped. And because they had a stolen gun that they got from a unit, and someone turned them in for it. I see there's a question in here. Do you want to take that? Or you want me to take that question, Chris?
Yeah, Jim Dittmeyer asks, so question, as a new person looking into doing storage auctions, what advice do you have, such as what to look for, where to look, etc.? If I can answer that one first, because I did have a little bit of experience myself, not as much as you, but it's hard to say what you want to look for. It's kind of what you are knowledgeable in. Like Jim, I know you collect mugs. You might see for whatever a box that says mugs on it, so you might think, okay, what type of mugs are in there? That might be something that draws your attention. Whereas somebody else might be into furniture, so they're going to look for the furniture to unload and everything else. Kind of where they're selling, besides if it's online or if it's in a yard sale or a flea market type of situation for them after the fact. Go ahead, Chris. You're laughing about something. I can tell that much.
No, it's because, damn it, somebody sent me a message. But what you want to look for, I'll elaborate on. Chris had said, it depends on what you're knowledgeable about. But also remember, do not overlook bags or suitcases and stuff like that, or boxes. See, I get excited when I see a unit full of boxes only because I like surprises. And you can find some pretty cool stuff. It depends on what you want to spend and what you're willing to move. I stay away from heavy furniture units. only because I don't like selling furniture. I don't like moving furniture. That's just not me. Stephen had said about Auction Zip as a good place to find one. That is true depending on the area, Stephen. Some areas I've noticed, they do not put their storage auctions on Auction Zip for some reason. I've gotten to a habit of sometimes calling my local storage places to find out, hey, are you going to have any auctions soon? And the ones around here, they're pretty good about that. They don't mind answering those questions. The managers don't mind answering those questions because that's going to bring you to their place, and you're going to show up for their auction. Yeah, legal notices in the newspaper. But like I said, yeah, and email lists. A lot of places here in Pennsylvania do not have the email lists. There are tons and tons of storage places in my area. When I first started out, I had to learn where they all were. I had to learn, and a good thing to do is to, talk to the manager of these storage auctions, get a feel for that manager to see if they're the type of person that's going to go through that unit and take the stuff that makes them, that makes the money. Because not all managers of storage units, just like not all managers of any business, are truthful and upfront. But you want to get a feel for those storage managers, and become friendly with them. Yeah, because you may need to rent a unit that you get. Okay, you may not have any place for storage because you're so packed up with stuff, and you may need to rent a unit. And if you're friendly with that manager, they'll more than likely give you extra time.
And would you bring it up about managers / auctioneers and stuff? I did ask Chris to reach out to his auctioneer friend to possibly come out on a show to give us an auctioneer's point of view of what buyers can and can't do or shouldn't do to be on their good graces type of side, and how they might be able to help you make the money in the long run while they make money too. So we'll keep working on that.
Yeah, and like I said, she said at another time maybe, but right now she's very busy. But it depends on, okay, giving more advice to a newcomer in the storage auctions. Make sure, like, if you go out to buy a storage unit, there's one thing I'll tell you to do. Take a flashlight, because you can only look from the door at most of these units. It's against the law. You don't own that stuff until you buy it, because you got to remember. Because you got to remember, the storage company has a lien on that stuff because that person didn't pay, and in the contract it says if you don't pay, we can sell your stuff. So it's not yours until you buy it. So that's why they don't let you go in and look at the stuff.
And I will say this much: sometimes you're not even owner after the fact, because sometimes while you're at the auction, the person might come in and actually pay off their bill before they either get to that storage or just as it's happening. So you go into the office and they say, "We gotta give you a refund. You can't." They came in and paid. Type of thing, from what I've heard.
Yeah. About finding out who's that unit. I know that in the big city of Pittsburgh, that they've had a couple instances where people have showed up that didn't pay for their units, that showed up at the auction and tried to talk people into not buying their stuff.
Huh.
Because, they look at it like this way: well, if no one bids on it, I'm going to get it back. That's wrong, because if no one bids on it, it's going to go up for sale again, mostly. So, but they have until, by law, they have until that lock is cut to pay for their unit.
Mr. City asked a question earlier. I
Uh-huh.
interrupt you. He wanted to know what are your selling platforms.
My selling platforms are eBay, Facebook, OfferUp, and that's about pretty much what I do. I don't sell, I don't do Amazon. I am thinking about starting up an Etsy. So, yeah.
Have you ever gone to a flea market after buying stuff at a storage auction to turn around and sell?
What's that?
Have
Sorry.
you gone when you bought stuff in the storage auction, instead of putting it online, have you gone right over to a flea market the following weekend and tried flipping the stuff quicker that way?
No, I've never done the flea market stuff. I know you've told me you have, but I have never done the flea market stuff.
Well, then you might want to look into that for this coming season when you get with all your 1,500 things, whatever you can't get listed by a certain time. Try one weekend, take 500, see if you can do that $5 a pop. There's what, 2,500?
Yeah. We don't have, believe it or not, we don't have many flea markets in my area. If I want to go to a flea market, I have to travel. I think it's 45 minutes away. So, yeah. I live, like I said,
go ahead.
I live near Pittsburgh, but I live in the next county over from there, and it's a bunch of rural area. So, and you would think that there would be a lot of flea markets in my area because it's rural, but there isn't.
I mean, that's something you never think about.
Yep.
So see, there's another business opportunity for you.
Yeah, maybe down the road. But yeah, so that pretty much with the and what I want to tell everybody about going to storage auctions and being new. Another thing you want to remember is not like a lot of the regulars are not gonna like you being there. You're coming in and cutting in on their business. Don't let it scare you away. And don't let it not let you bid on something. If it doesn't, did I just get a cha-ching?
Sounded like it.
Nice.
So you get lucky on my show. You still getting a lot of cha-chings.
Yeah. But my advice is if you go to a storage auction, go to a couple before you buy. At least try to go to a couple before you buy. I know it's hard sometimes because you see something you like, and if nobody's bidding on it, you're like, okay. Very good. Very good. Yeah, Dusty. Exactly. you want to make friends with the regulars. To tell you a story about that, I got a friend that's a regular. At first, he wasn't very susceptible to a newbie. And but we became friendly, and he found out what I liked to buy, and I found out what he liked to buy. He had 2 stores. He sold a lot of furniture. So, if I'd end up with furniture and a unit, I'd tell him, hey, make me an offer. Take it off my hands. So, yeah.
And that's basically what Dusty just said and asked it about the next part of his thing. He said, then you can go pick through there and buy all the stuff from their units and that you didn't win.
True, but you're going to be paying their prices. And he said they're mostly, grouchy old men out there. That's pretty much here in Pennsylvania too, Dusty. It's, I swear I live where there's retirement communities or something, which I didn't think would happen in Pennsylvania. But and all these people retire and go into buying storage auctions. They need something to keep them from being bored, I guess, or whatever. We have a guy here that owns farmland. He has 2 barns full of stuff that he's bought in a storage auction and hasn't sold any of it.
That's the guy you should go up to and say, okay, you want to open a flea market on your property, start selling your stuff, and you can work with him.
I don't want to go on his property. He'll meet you at the door with a gun or something. He's one of those type of people that, is a farmer. It's his land. He keeps his stuff. Yeah, hoarders. Exactly. That's another thing I want to get into in the storage auctions. Believe it or not, yeah, hoarders rent storage units. The one that I spent all that money on taking stuff to the dump, yeah, it was a hoarder's unit.
Oh, and Chris, before I forget, I wanted to mention this earlier, and just so people know that what Chad says on his show about there being deals in the back of Hangouts and whatnot. We actually made a deal, and you kind of have what I sold you sitting behind you, even though not many people could make it out. So it's still
Yeah.
You want to tell about it?
I bought some books off of Chris to put on my shelf. Not that I'm a fan of that person's books, but I thought they'd be some pretty cool shelf pieces. I collect some pretty weird stuff, people. So, Berta, she wasn't in here when we answered that question. She had said she has never been to a storage unit. How do you know about them? Like it's been said before, you check your newspapers, you check the legal notices, you can look at Auction Zip. I know my head's in the way, Dwayne. It's big. Sorry. And like I said, I made a habit of calling the storage companies and talking to the manager, Berta, and asking them, hey, are you having a storage auction this week? When is your next one? It is Bear Dawn. This is my new office. I'm in the basement now. The wife said that none of my stuff can be in the bedroom now. Huh, I don't know. But no, that's not correct. But anyways, yeah, that's how I did it. That, I would make, I'd call and ask. Managers don't mind answering those questions, like I said before. No, Dwayne, I didn't get the boot. Just my collecting. Got the boot.
I'm going to answer Laura Lee's question, what the R stands for. When I started the show, Laura Lee, no, Kyle, you're wrong. It's not reseller. It was a lot of what we do. You can start with R. Research. We called it reclaiming something if you go to a yard sale. So it doesn't get. There's a lot of different things that we can use it for. So there's let's see. Well, you could use for the R show with our research, yes. But research, can't remember. That's how long it's been since we've had it. But 2 years ago that I came up with the name and it just stuck. Rescue and research and actually resell. But there's a lot of different things that you can use the R for. So it kind of when I came up with it, just something that I wanted something different than what everybody else was calling their shows.
Oh, and by the way, because I know the person's in the chat that sent me the message, be warned, next time you go live, you will get messages.
Oh, so somebody has a show that's messaging you, huh?
Yep.
I already know where one person's not in the chat, so I'm assuming it's the other one, the other grouchy man.
Berta, yes. Are they everywhere or mainly in larger cities? They are actually everywhere, but you will find a majority. You'll find more in larger cities because there's more storage units in larger cities. But they are everywhere. You just got to do the research and find them. And like I said, my best My best thing that I did was call the storage companies and ask them, hey, do you have a storage auction coming up? And a lot of the time, the managers will tell you, hey, we have this storage auction coming up. We have this many units. So you know ahead of time. So, yeah.
That's cutting on you, Chris, but there's also a site called storagetreasures.com.
Yep.
That gives you auctions places in your area, and or I remember right now, they actually have auctions on the site themselves.
Yeah, Storage Treasures is something where you can go and actually bid on online storage auctions. I mean, they have a forum and everything, but they do have a place where you can go and bid on the storage auctions. You know, you sign up with email and stuff like that. You become a member. You can be a basic member, or you can pay some amount and be a premium member, which gets you more units that you can look at a month.
Yeah, you have to look around, because there's also, in like somebody said earlier, newspapers. Some of the people don't necessarily want all the crowds coming in, even though the auctioneers want the money, but for whatever reason they put their ads in the obscure newspapers.
Yeah.
Even online, it's like you go to type it into a local newspaper, and you just may not be there, but then you go to an odd named newspaper for your area, and there's all these storage auctions. You're like, why isn't this over where the big people are?
For the simple fact, okay, here's the deal. In most states, the law is that they have to advertise this person's unit, this unit number, for so many days before they can sell it. And that's why they have to put it in legal notices in the newspapers and stuff like that. And sometimes they don't like to use the big newspapers. I don't know why, but it's probably because maybe they're cheap and they don't want to spend the money to get into a big newspaper. I don't know.
Well, I'm thinking, I did not come up with questions for tonight. I figured we were going to just do this kind of one on the fly, because I knew you had experience. I figured there were certain topics you wanted to bring up. We will be more streamlined when we start having more guests. I have a guest in mind for next week, but I have to ask and see if they're interested first and everything else. So,
and I will tell you, are we still on storage auctions, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay. I will tell you, if anybody, by any means, I am not a pro at buying storage auctions. I ain't one of those guys that, know everything about storage auctions, because I don't live in your area. I can just tell you what happens in my area, what I found works in my area. So, if you have questions that you don't want to ask in the show, and feel free. Ask me on Facebook. Everybody knows that I have a Facebook, and I don't mind answering questions. So yeah,
groups. So it's not like you're not in any of our groups out there. You're also trying to start a daily working hangout.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's into hangouts, look for a link in all the groups, and
yeah,
the only person you can ask questions there.
Also, Dawn just asked a question. Do you have to pay a cleaning deposit when you buy a unit? Most of the times, yes, you do. That is that. It's usually around $100 that you have to pay to clean up, and then once you get the unit clean, they will give you that money back, so yeah, most of the places now have the cleaning deposits, because for a while people buy units, didn't want it. They'd get stuck with a unit and they wouldn't clean them. They wouldn't clean them out completely. They just take the stuff that they knew made them money and leave trash. So yeah.
And the other thing is, at least in my area, when I was doing it, some said you had X amount to clean it out. You didn't have to pay a deposit, but if you did, then you would have to pay something back toward whatever left, because even if it's one item, you got to take it out whether you can make money off it or not. You bid on it.
Yeah, yeah. And there are a lot of auction places. I mean, a lot of storage places. If they have dumpsters, they don't mind. You know, like this goes back to making friends with the manager. If they have dumpsters, they don't mind. You know, if you want to throw some of your stuff in there, you know, they'll let you. And so, yeah. But like I said, each area is different. Each state is different with their laws when it comes to storage units and storage auctions. So you have to. Oh, yeah. I'll touch on that now that I've seen it. Dwayne said about rats and mice and stuff. If you're somebody that's afraid of rats, mice, snakes, don't buy a storage unit, because you're definitely going to find one out of 10. What is the normal time you have to clean out the unit? Around here, most of the places give you 72 hours.
I think here it was either 24 or 48.
So
just like everything else that goes on in life, it depends on where you are, the managers, their rules. So if they have 24-hour camera surveillance, they might say you can come in at nighttime and clean it out. Granted, you risk having someone trying to sneak into your storage and stealing what you're bought, but they just having a couple of people I've seen get caught up doing that, going through the roof of a storage and couldn't get back out, and somebody went back the next day or whatever it was, and the cops caught them.
And here's another thing, people. Once you buy that unit, once that door shuts, do not walk away from that unit without putting your lock on it. Because if you don't put your lock on it, I guarantee you there's dishonest people in this world. There's going to be stuff missing out of that unit.
Yeah, make sure you have, depending on how many units there are, and if you have any experience, make sure you have that many locks, if not double that many. That way you can double up if you need to. If you don't trust the area that the auction's in.
Yep. Yeah, Steve, you said about renting it yourself to get it out on your own time. Yeah, you can do that. If it's a big unit, I have done that for one unit before. It was, that was a unit that I had to rent for a month, and it took me almost a full month to clean it out.
And I'm going to make a comment here in regards to it. Gary Hunter said, snakes he hates, but mice and rats he don't care. He can care less. Here's the kicker, Kyle. You're afraid of the animal that will take care of the mice and rats.
Yeah, true. But yeah, depending on the area you're in, it depends on what you're going to find in the unit too. If you're in a big city, you're going to find a lot of stuff that maybe you don't want to find. I mean, in the city of Pittsburgh, believe it or not, there's a lot of drug dealers that have storage units. And a friend of mine found that out the hard way. So, yeah.
And I'm going to give a little bit of a shout out. We both bought from this person. Not that we are promoting anybody's book or anything like that, but from experience, I bought Glendon Cameron's storage auctions books. I know Chris said he bought all his books. So that's where I got some of my knowledge that I'm giving out now. So I'm going to not take credit for regurgitating what I learned from somebody else.
Me neither. I can't say that, all the stuff that I've said tonight, that it's what I found out. I've read Glendon's books before I started buying, and even after I started buying, because some of his books came out afterwards. So, yeah, great. I mean, great books. I mean, I don't promote people, but usually I don't. Who am I kidding? Yeah, I do. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I've read those books. Actually, the only paid content I've ever bought. But hey, I just want to remind people that know your laws, okay, when it comes to different stuff. Know your laws when it comes to guns. If you find a gun in the unit and it's stolen, I know around here for sure, if you have that serial number ran and it comes back stolen, the police have the right to seize that whole unit. Have they? In many cases, no. In many cases, you got to give up the gun. But be prepared to find just about anything. And don't, if those, like I said, if those Crown Royal purple bags don't jingle, because there's two things that are found mostly in Crown Royal purple bags in a storage unit. If it jingles, it's their change. If it doesn't jingle, most of the time it's going to be some adult toy. So, yeah. Hey, Angie. Welcome. Good to see you, Angie.
Okay. My next question for you then is, would you advise newbies to get into storage or stick with the thrift store / yard sale, estate sale type of picking?
If the yard sale, estate sale, and Goodwills and stuff are working for you, don't change it. Because here's the simple fact. Storage auctions are a lot more work than yard sales, estate sales, and Goodwills. If you're not afraid to work, if you're not afraid to break a sweat, get dirty and stuff like that, then hey, if it's something you want to try it. It's not for everyone. It doesn't work for everyone. So yeah, I mean, if you want to, if you have a interest in it, I suggest you go out and you check out an auction. Don't buy right away. Just go out and check out an auction and see. So yeah.
Let's see. Steven's asking, and I don't know exactly how to answer this question. He said, "How about closed door one? They don't open to someone buy it." Oh, I think he's talking about like
Yeah.
wine auction.
There's
I've heard of that.
there's been auctions. Some places have auctions where they auction a unit, okay, and they don't open the door until a winning bid. And that, I stay away from those because it's just it's kind of rough to gauge what you're going to spend and what your profit is and stuff like that. Another thing I want to touch on was there's another different type of auction, storage auctions too. There's silent auctions. That's where you write down your bid. Those are hard to judge too, because unless you know the people that are around you, you don't know how high they're willing to go on a unit. So yeah. Yeah, and Dwayne's right. Definitely watch a few. I cannot preach that too much. You want to watch a few before you buy, because I don't know. I mean, yeah, I know it's exciting to go to your first storage auction. You got this money in this pocket and you want to spend it. You see something cool. If you buy a storage auction the first time out, by no means am I saying it's going to be a bad one, but you could have overpaid for that unit because, okay, you're there, the regulars are there, they're going to test you. They're going to see how much you're going to go up. And some regulars, I will tell you, have some deep pockets. So, yeah. I mean, definitely you want to watch, go to a few of them and watch them before you buy.
Yeah, like I said, I, from one of the person I watched, Glendon used to say, go to at least 50 auctions, storage auctions before you thought of buying. That way you can tell who the real players are and who are just there to browse. So.
And like anything in the reselling business, if you don't have tough skin, storage auctions aren't going to work because you're not going to always have nice people. Like somebody said earlier in the chat, it's a bunch of grouchy older men. So yeah, and they don't like you coming in on their turf, but they'll get used to it. You know, like I said, don't let people scare you away. If it's something you want to do, do it. But I highly suggest you go to a couple and see what it's like before even buying.
If you're liking what we're talking about, please hit that like button. I don't normally ask, but I'm going to start asking because I just feel like it's the right thing to do. To ask. So, like I said, there's going to be some changes this year. Well, yeah, really. Since Chris is on, so like I said, he's going to be joining me permanently for both shows. And we may change subjects a little bit during the shows. And I realize, like I said, this is my first one back. Hopefully we'll get back up to our normal viewership. But I want everybody to give Chris the respect for being on. I know he doesn't want to admit it. He was a little nervous during the week about being on. So I've been working on him all week. Even right before the show, I jokingly said to him, "So you're nervous yet?" Just to break the ice with him. I wanted to. He was on before, but not a permanent fixture type of thing. So, and we're getting close to the first hour, so I don't know if you want to stay on this topic, Chris, or you want to do a little bit free fall for a while.
Yeah, you were right, Dwayne. Yep, you're right. It doesn't matter to me. Like I said, if anybody has any more questions about storage auctions, you know, post them in the chat. I'll be happy to answer them. No big deal. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. I mean, you know, you guys in there in chat, you know, thank you. Really, really appreciate it.
Steven says he got 12 semi-truck beds, $100 pieces, at where you put in a bid, take the higher one.
Don't understand that.
I think it's one of those where, like when the Storage Wars, when they were doing those lockers type of thing, where okay, there's 4 lockers, you pay this price for all 4.
Oh, okay.
Price, okay. Or as a individual price. I don't know how exactly how he worked it out.
I'll go back to. I did want to touch one thing. Somebody asked me, I think it was before the show, a few days ago or something, about how much I've spent the most on a storage auction. And I spent around, I think it was like $1,900. Was the most I ever spent. So yeah. What is the worst thing that I have found in a storage auction? It's funny you say that, and it's funny you said urn, because yes, I have found grandmother's ashes. So yeah, it's inevitable. Why would you put grandmother's ashes in a storage unit? But hey, you did.
And Andy says she's glad that the show is back. I'm glad to be back. I don't know. Well, I'm going to try to keep going weekly, but the wife has her surgeon follow up next week after on the 25th or 26th. So, depending on how things go, I wanted to let everybody know it's not necessarily going to be every week. I'm going to shoot for every week, but depending on what goes on with the wife, of course, she comes first before just about anything. that goes on in our life.
Yeah.
So,
Hold on one thing, Chris. I had forgot to mention something, and now that Cal said something, what do you do with them? The thing about it is, if I find personal papers and anything personal, pictures and stuff like that, I leave them with the storage manager. I let them call the person to say, hey, you can come get your personal stuff, the papers and stuff like that. So that's what I did with Granny's ashes too, because I didn't want them. And because a lot of times you will find that you'll find people's checking account information and stuff like that. And to me, I don't want that stuff. I give it to the storage manager and say, listen, here's the box of personals. You call them, and never, ever let the storage unit place give your phone number to the people that own the unit. That's why I said, give them the personal stuff. Let them deal with the people that own the unit. Because believe me, you will get every sap story in the book of why they want all their stuff back.
Andy says, oh, you didn't want Granny?
No offense, no. I just that's something I don't want. I mean, it's just yeah. And Dwayne said he's found them too, and the manager didn't want them. I put it like this: most of the managers around here know I'm not keeping that kind of stuff. And you know what they do with them, they do with them. As long as they're out of my hands, that's what matters to me. By no means do I want to get personal with could have been Fido too. Nah, wasn't Fido. I mean, this urn was in the box that you get from the funeral home that said the person's name on it and stuff like that. So I don't believe it was Fido. Yeah. So yeah.
Well, there's a question for you, and it ties into something that was going on in the groups this week. So it's not a topic that we're going to talk about Sunday. So, or at least I don't think we are, because I'm still looking at those. Like I told you, I'm going to want you to look at some of the posts and stuff, see what ones you would like to talk about for on Sundays. But the question I have is, when you have clothing that you didn't know was in there, do you wash it, or do you wait and then, especially if they're newer with tags or whatever, to avoid getting the eBay clothing policy against you?
For myself, I don't sell much clothes. A lot of my clothes, actually, even some newer with tags, go to, we have a domestic violence thrift shop here around me that, you know, they support a domestic violence shelter. And a lot of my clothes will go there. But the stuff like, you know, that I have sold, have I washed it? Yes, I've washed it.
Well, the reason I asked is because in one of the posts that I told you about before the show, it got into that kind of topic, that why wash clothes, and I put in right in the policies where eBay clothing should be washed.
Here's the fact, okay? If you get plushies or clothes out of a storage unit, and you want to sell them, you do want to wash them, because you got to remember, these storage units are outside a lot of the times, and there's bugs in there. So, you know, you don't want to bring those bed bugs and stuff into your house. So, yeah. Is that another question I see, Chris?
Yeah, from Joe Panico, aka Surplus Wholesale Supply. Well, so how has your response been for larger items listed on eBay for local pickup only?
Joe, I haven't done that on eBay. On my larger items, I usually sell either on OfferUp or Facebook groups. I've had a lot of success with that. So I wouldn't be able to answer that truthfully for eBay, because I have never done the local pickup only on eBay.
And I haven't done it yet either. So Well, it would be kind of hard for me.
Oh yeah. So like Steven said, don't wash them at home. No. Laundromat. I don't want to bring bed bugs into my house. So yeah. I've done them at the laundromat.
So with the addition of Chris to this group show, what are other topics that you would like to get his take on while we're got him here for tonight that we can maybe find a guest on to get their take on? And there's another question I have for you. What are your thoughts on well, what, not you, Chris? I'm talking to the viewers. What are your thoughts on a once a month debate type of show like I tried doing with Chad and Big Kyle a couple weeks before I underwent surgery? I've been throwing that idea in my head about having one or doing a different day to have debates. I know what your thoughts are, Chris. You want to let everybody know what your thoughts are and see if they coincide with our viewers?
Going back to the whole debate show, I don't believe, to me, it's just something that it really doesn't work because, in the debate shows, you ain't going to find, to me, you ain't going to find many people that want to debate live. And I understand that, you know, look at me, I'm sitting here on a regular show, and was I nervous to be even on a regular show? Just a bit. So yeah, and I wasn't even debating anything. So yeah.
Well, the reason I'm asking is because and young little Kyle said that he enjoyed it, and
Yeah.
Joe said that they can get the race can go wrong so quickly. But what I was thinking is a lot of people say things here to you guys watching, and then when you see them in private, all of a sudden it's either they flip what they said or they get into a heated debate on topics. These are the type of things that I think newbies need to learn, and so people can see their honesty feeling on what certain topics are.
But
So,
and here's the thing, okay? I mean, we have our after show hangouts. And I mean that's those are good for debates. I mean, this is only my opinion. By no means take it, you know, and run with it. That's just the way I feel. I mean, I just, you know, that's how I feel about debate shows. I don't want to, you know, I see how the debates go with our, you know, the presidential debates and stuff like that. And I don't want to see I don't want to see reseller shows like that, but that's just me. I mean, everybody's different.
well, that's why I was just saying that there are a lot of different people that had heated debates in private, and it's like, well, how come you don't say these things? And I'm just trying to get to the point where I want people to be real. It's just sometimes, as you said before the show, some people like to say one thing and flip it to when they're in public so that they look good.
And you're gonna have that. It's the world of the internet, Chris.
I know, but I'm just.
Yeah, I know.
It's
But
kind of like things have changed in my life, not just because of what's going on with her, but I mean, I've been some people, and I how you told me, I've had Chad tell me sometimes I'm too nice when I'm talking to somebody. Apparently, what happened this last night's really getting to me still because of me actually putting my neck out and asking somebody to clarify their point, and they felt like I was attacking them. So,
well, you know, unfortunately, that is, you know, you're gonna have that in the wonderful world of reselling. So, yeah.
and like I said, that's gonna be that is gonna be one of my topics for Sunday that I want to talk about. Is what brought on that. And like I say, it's a little bit of drama, but just I'm bringing it out a little bit now to give a preview of what I at least one of the shows to be about. And like, I want this show to be like that. I want to be honest. I want to be open. I'm not going to sit there and tell you something different in private.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, there's a bunch of people in here that have been in hangouts with me, after shows with me and stuff like that. And they know, I'm no different on a show than I am in an after show hangout or anything like that. This is me. I'm going to tell you, we used the topic tonight for storage auctions. I told Chris beforehand, I said, it's not all going to be pretty. Before, when he asked me about the topic, I said, hey, as long as I can tell the truth about the storage auctions, and that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to feed people with the unicorns and purple clouds. Everything is nice. So, yeah.
I'm sit down and dirty.
Yep. So,
Joe says, healthy discussion happen enough without having a specific show geared toward the word debate, in his opinion.
True. Hey, I know that. Sorry, Joe. Yeah, as you've noticed, okay, I'm in an office now. Most of the hangouts and after shows, I was laying in my bed, but I did have clothes on, so there you go. But yep.
That's why you set up your office down there. So.
Yep, this is my office. This is my wonderful world now.
So, any more questions out there for Chris about storage auctions or anything out right now? Since I know it's been a month since I've been on, I'm sure there's some questions out there either that need to get answered or topics you guys want to have covered in the future that we can write down and work on finding somebody for. I did tell Chris how I used, and I don't know how many of you remember this, I would purposely set out almost a month in advance on guests, if not 2 months, to make sure that I would have at least something that I can fall back on for the show. I would like to get back into that type of scenario. I know real life gets in the way, but even having ideas of who to have on at certain times helps me set up questions, let's get promotion out. I don't normally promote the show, but that's another change I'm thinking of, especially with Chris being on. He wants to put out videos. I'd like to get him some more subscribers, so that if we can all work together instead of fighting and bickering and all that. Your thoughts, Chris?
My thoughts?
Yeah.
I'm out of thoughts, Chris. No. Yeah, I
was gonna say, I don't see any of your brains oozing out, so you can't be out of too many thoughts.
If you guys have anything you want us to talk about, anything you want us to touch on a show, feel free to let us know. I'm open to anything. Pretty much anything, anyways. I mean, what I'll ask now before we go off the air, if anybody's interested for an after show, I'm going to be around. I don't know if Chris is, but I know I'm going to be around. We can have an after show. So, squirrels. Where's a squirrel? Wait.
I think you're just saying that because of the Wayne's your question about what about apartments? I thought they're all together, so why are they called apartments?
Apartments? I don't know. That's his question for the month, so that means I have another half a month to think about it.
Not even, because today's the 7th. Yeah, you got half a month. So.
Yep.
Hey, Brian, you want squirrel talk? Go to profit talk.
Hey, now.
And I'm saying that in a loving, joking way, and I know Dusty and Danica, if Danica sees this, will understand.
Squirrels. Oh,
Okay, Nazi Hunter wants us to go over a topic that's related to collecting and reselling at the same time.
we can do that on a show some week. That'll work.
I have an idea of who we can have. I've had him on the show before, but I don't know if he's still collecting, and I don't know if he would have the time because of being on the East Coast. So,
Hey,
but
I'm on the East Coast, damn it.
I know, but you don't have a store to run
Yeah, I know.
or all the pallets and everything else. I'm thinking of Eric.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's
No, ever. Wait.
like that. So,
Ever. The DA wants to know if I've ever found a. Hey, Chad, what's up? Nice to see you, man. Right on, dude. Glad you're here.
We're just about figuring out what's going on. I guess maybe we can start the show over.
Yeah, I know. I'm not starting over. No. That was too much information. Did I ever find a squirrel in a unit? A stuffed squirrel? No. I found deer heads and stuff like that, taxidermy, but no squirrel. But yeah.
I did try to say that.
No, Chad. No.
Don't worry, Chad. You can watch my show and I'll watch Bonafide show with you on it.
Yep. Folks, think we're gonna do Chris, are we gonna do an after show? Please tell me yes, because I'm raring and I'm awake and I'm caffeine.
We'll have one. And that way
All
Chad
right.
can find out how we did.
No. It was hey, I'm glad you did, Chad. I hope your show went well. I hope you guys had a great time over there. And I'm glad you came in at the end. You know, I get into a habit, people, of, you know, giving people shout outs that have helped me in this business. Chad's a major one, Dusty's a major one, Chris is a major one, but I don't want to forget about all you. Because without all you, well, I wouldn't be able to do what I do in this business. But yeah, so that's good. They treated you well. Coffee? No, I'm not drinking coffee. It's the Pepsi. All right. Will that be it?
All right. Well, with that being said, I will not announce what there is going to be a new show title for Sunday night. I will not announce it tonight. And only one or two people know it besides me and Chris. And I will end this and put the Hangout link in the comments. And then I will also put it in Reseller Society in my group, the National Resellers at eBay, Advice for eBay and Amazon. So
come on, people, come join us in the after show. Let's have some fun.
See you in a few.
See you in a few.